Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to do an unboxing of a new Taurus pistol, and this would be the Taurus G2S. Now this model's been out for a little while now, and I've actually had this gun for a couple months, and I've wanted to open it up, I've wanted to take it out to the range, but I work a ton. I'm self-employed, I own a small business, so there's always something. So I haven't had a chance to really do much with it yet, so I've managed to keep it brand new in the box the last couple months just for this unboxing, so hopefully you guys appreciate it. And I've also been having so much fun with the Taurus G2C and the G3 that I haven't really had a chance to get this G2S yet. But you guys have been asking me about the G2S, and a lot of you guys have it, and a lot of you guys are looking to get one, so I thought, you know what? It's high time that I get this G2S out and do a review for you guys. So hopefully someone appreciates that I had to look at this closed up box for the last 2 months. Alright, so just comes in the standard Taurus cardboard box, just like the G3 and G2C. Let's have a look inside and see what we find. Right away, we're going to see our owner's manual, which has instructions, safety, care, and the warranty, which we'll get to the warranty in 1 second here. The gun is in a clear plastic bag, which seems pretty standard for other Taurus guns I've bought. Also comes with the famous Taurus lock. It's a cable lock. It's usable. Nice to have for certain instances. And we have an extra magazine, it looks like, in the box here. And I think there should be one in the gun. Yep, it looks like there's one in the gun. So let's take a look and see what we find. You guys don't know how long I've been wanting to take this out, but I promise, I've literally kept it in the box the whole time, guys. Alright, so it looks like we have a safety flag in the chamber. We'll remove that. Save it for later in case I ever need it. One of the magazines is in the gun. And there's a little sticker here, the normal safety sticker. Read your manual before use, which if you're new to guns, or even new to this gun, I would recommend that, guys. Don't take it for granted. You know, people like me put out videos, and we're really truly trying to help you guys, but as a gun owner, especially if you're new, it's up to you to learn how to use your firearm, which would probably start with reading the manual and then ultimately go to training, whether it's a formal training class or a loved one or a friend or somebody who you can trust that knows a lot about guns. I don't want to overemphasize that enough, guys, because a lot of us, you know, that have been into guns for a long time here on YouTube. Look, I've been into guns, guys, for like well over 25 years. We might make stuff look easy and take stuff for granted, but read your manual. Have someone you trust train you. Alright. So right off the bat, the gun's looking pretty good. I would note, the first thing I'm going to notice right off the bat, and I'm going to say this because a lot of people bring this up, as with any new Taurus gun I've bought, you're going to notice a little bit of dirt on the barrel, maybe a little bit of wear on it. As we look down into the chamber, the feed ramp looks pretty clean, but I can even see a little bit of soot in the chamber. People have brought this up on my Taurus G2C and G3 videos before. This is perfectly normal, guys, and it's actually a good thing. Because when a gun's manufactured, most manufacturers anyways, if not all, test fire the gun. So this proves that before this left Taurus's factory, that they test fired it, made sure everything, you know, preliminarily functioned, the rounds fired as they should. So the fact that you'll see a little bit of dirt on it, that's just an indication that, you can see a little bit of grease right there, that this gun was indeed test fired. So that's not a bad thing. Could Taurus clean it when they're done? Yeah, they could, but I've found many gun manufacturers test fire it a little bit and don't clean it. So don't get alarmed, guys. This is actually a good thing. So the Taurus G2S, basically what this is a subcompact, and I would almost argue, with this being the G2 Slim, probably a micro compact. So you guys are kind of familiar with the SIG P365 probably and the new Hellcat. This gun is actually almost in that range. It's a little bit thicker than a SIG, a teeny bit longer and a teeny bit taller, but we're talking like, you know, fractional inches here, like maybe like 0.1 inches thinner for the grip, the SIG is rather, The SIG might be a 1/2 inch shorter on height and a 1/2 inch shorter on length, but this thing's pretty darn close. So you can call this a subcompact. I'm going to call it a micro compact just for the purposes of this review, because clearly this gun is much smaller than a lot of guns that are labeled as a compact. So right off the bat here, we're going to notice there's a marking on the slide that indicates that this gun is indeed made in Brazil. It's a little hard to pick up on that because it's all in black, but right there, made in Brazil. Sold in the United States through Taurus USA, which is currently in Florida and very recently expanded to Georgia. So you're buying the gun from the American distributor, which this is why we see the imported mark here, Miami, Florida. Okay. But the gun is made in Brazil, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because Taurus has been making guns for a lot of years. So this is just made in the old Taurus factory in Brazil, basically. The polymer on the receiver. Let's take a look at the outer parts of the gun. The polymer seems rather rigid. I don't notice any flexing or anything like that. Teeny bit, but nothing out of the ordinary for a normal polymer gun. It feels very rigid, so right off the bat, I'm liking the look and feel of the frame. It also has a rather aggressive texture on here. So you'll see here, this is kind of like a sandpaper type finish, almost like the old skateboard tape that people used to put on their guns. Rather aggressive. Definitely makes the gun feel like it's going to stay in my hand and not just pop out, even if my hands were a little bit wet, right? So right off the bat, that feels pretty good. And what I would note too that I really like about Taurus is, and on this G2S, is instead of just putting the grip just all the way across the gun where it doesn't need to be, they've only put it where it actually matters. So we can see on the back, you know, back strap area, the grip frame right here. We have the aggressive texturing down here. We come to the sides, and we have that kind of teardrop shape. 2 patterns that alternate. Coming around to the front strap area of the grip is that same aggressive texturing. And then again on the other side, the same thing. Well, this is actually where we're actually imparting most of our grip to keep the gun from sliding out. So on the heel of your hand here, along your fingertips, and then of course along where your knuckles meet your hand. That's actually where you're gripping most of the gun. Now up here, where your thumb rests on the left side of the gun, and your trigger finger rides on the right side, it's actually perfectly smooth. And I like this because it's more comfortable for me to have my thumb and trigger finger, because these are the parts where you actually move, right? You're going to move your thumb to get to the mag release, and your trigger finger is going to be moving in and out of the trigger guard, so it doesn't give you that scratchy feeling. So it's just little things like that, as far as I'm concerned, that make it where a gun is either like really comfortable to hold or just good enough. I don't know if you guys ever think about it that way, but you know, it does matter how a gun looks. Of course we want our stuff to look nice, but what really matters to me is 2 things. First and foremost, it has to be reliable. If I'm going to use it for any type of self-defense, it has to go bang every time. That's number 1. But right under there is, how does the gun feel in my hand? Because every time you're interacting with this gun, you're going to have a grip on it and you're going to be holding it. So if it looks good and it feels good in the hand, then that's great. And as far as I'm concerned, right off the bat, this gun seems to be both. I don't think it looks bad, and it feels really good. I would also notice here on the grip, there's a spot here for your thumb to rest, which is really nice, and then on the other side for your finger. So there's just a little cup there that allows your finger just to kind of go right over it, and it just feels like it fits like a glove. Like there's a nice molding there, and I really like it. Especially on the thumb side. This is already feeling very comfortable. See how my thumb's just resting right in there? And the way I shoot is with a thumbs forward grip. So my thumb is naturally going to be here. My support hand's going to come underneath, and it's going to lead forward, right? And look at right here on the front of the gun. There's another little indentation that you can gently rest your thumb. Now, I don't care how you guys shoot, as long as you're shooting safe, obviously. Some people leave their thumb out away from the frame. That's fine. Some people like to lightly press with a little pressure to help, you know, keep the gun steered in the right direction, or if you will. That's up to you guys. But if you like to have your thumb touching the frame, there's a perfect spot for it right there. So that's also pretty cool. Going down to the front, we're going to see a rather small dust cover and 1 Picatinny rail slot. Now, from what I understand, this rail slot is regular Picatinny, meaning the width, right? Otherwise known as Mill Standard 1913. So the rail slot is standard. However, with the very short distance from the front of the trigger guard up to the front of the dust cover here is rather small. So you're not going to be able to necessarily hook any type of weapons light or laser. So make sure before you buy any Picatinny accessories for this, make sure they're short enough to work for the G2S, because you will find some that need to interact on the second or third forward slot, and with this only having one, there just won't be enough room. So wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. And I actually did a video just about a week ago. You can go back and check. And by the way, if you guys are into any Taurus guns, whether it be the G2C, okay, or the G3, or now this G2S, check out my channel playlist that says Taurus, and you'll see some of these older videos. But in a video I just did, I was showing how some of my lights didn't exactly fit on the G2C because it's just so short. So keep that in mind, guys. But hey, at least they give you a rail, which is nice, and they give you a a standard rail, Picatinny. Unlike some of the other gun manufacturers, we can't take this for granted. Some companies use a proprietary rail where you have to use their accessory or hope the aftermarket's going to make an adapter. That can be a pain in the butt. So there we go. We're going to take a look at the sights here. The rear sight is polymer, as well as the front sight. So this is a standard 2-dot rear sight, interfacing with front sight post, which is a single white dot. So it's basically a 3-dot sighting system, which is totally fine with me. I think that when I bring it up here, let me take a peek. Yeah, the sighting system is very natural. Quite frankly, if you guys are familiar, about identical to this gun, the G2C. Now, it's hard for me not to mention the G2C here and there during this video, guys, but stay tuned if you're interested in both of these, or if you're on the fence, because I am going to do a true side-to-side G2C compared to, or G2C versus G2S video, so stay tuned for that. I am going to do a thorough comparison and contrast of these two guns. So the sights, like I said, are polymer, but they appear to be just fine. I have no problem acquiring a good sight picture with them. I would note that the front sight is going to be fixed, where the rear sight is going to be adjustable for your windage. You can move it side to side. The slide is of a steel construction with nice rear cocking serrations. I'm not having any problem gripping these at all, whether I'm coming over the top of the gun or if I come from the rear. They're nice. They're definitely aggressive enough to grab onto your skin here when you pinch them, and you can definitely get a hold of it good, but they don't feel sharp enough where they want to cut me or anything. So I would say the rear, cocking serrations are just fine, to be honest. I'm liking them. The finish of the gun is more of a matte finish. You can probably kind of see there, it's rather dull. I don't want to quite say it's textured or it's rough, but it's not very slick either. It has a very, very, very light, not really texture, but a little bit of like roughness to it, which I think is actually a good thing, because when you're grabbing onto the gun, high polished bluing looks awesome, but that metal can be very slippery and slick, right? So with this gun, in my opinion, being more of a function gun rather than a beauty queen, I actually like that it has a little bit more of a matte, semi-grippy type of finish to it. And again, I don't want to exaggerate. There's nothing like stippling on here, but the paint just isn't very smooth, if you guys know what I'm saying. Now, I've had Taurus guns in the past. The finish on these guns really isn't the best, to be honest with you. It's prone to getting little scuffs and scrapes and etc., which is kind of a little annoying, but I'm fine with it, okay? I'm going to get to the price in a minute, but these guns are very, very affordable, guys. And at a certain point, you kind of get what you pay for, so you're going to end up with things like the finish on the slide not being maybe the best there is, polymer sights, things like that. Because if they put 100% top-of-the-line finish on this gun and expensive Trijicon sights on it, we could find this gun costing $500 like a SIG P365, right? So I'm actually fine with the fit and finish of this gun. I think it looks really nice, actually. So let's check out here a couple other quick things. I'm going to take a look at the magazine. I'm noticing just a little bit of a hitch off the bat, guys. It drops free, but on the way in, just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can notice that. It wants to catch a little bit. And this is kind of why I get in the habit of always slamming my magazines in. So we'll have to see if this goes away on its own. But right off the bat, when I go to push it in, I feel it catching a little bit. Right at where the mag release is. It seems like this part, can you guys see that and hear it? But nothing I can't overcome by just giving it a little tap or a solid pressure. But I would know. Watch this. When I'm giving it solid pressure, I have to push pretty hard to get it to go through. So I'm hoping this is just something where there's just a little bit of tolerance maybe. That's just a teeny bit off on the mag release, mag catch. And that this is going to take care of itself after I shoot it for a little while. Because, well, hey, this is just an honest unboxing. Right now, right this exact second, I'm not exactly happy with this, but hey. Now I would note the mag does drop free. We will flip it around here. See how it's okay. And it does slightly pop up, so definitely a drop free mag. And I am noticing right here already, just from inserting it a couple times, a little bit of a rubbing mark. See that on the front of the mag there? So hopefully it's just going to wear down a little burr or something and we're going to be good. But the gun comes with 2 mags, so let's check out the other magazine and see if we have the same little issue, if you will. So here's the second one. This came in the box. I can't see any markings on it, so as far as I know, this has never been put in a gun before, not even by Taurus. So, yep, same thing. Alright, let me know, guys, in the comments, those of you that have these. Is this just normal and it's going to wear in? Because it might be. This is truly an unboxing. I just not familiar with all of my guns I've ever bought doing this. Have other guns I've bought in the past done this? Absolutely. Especially older milsurps. This is real common where you put it in halfway, you feel like there's a wall, and you either have to hold in the mag release or slap it in. And I would note that too, guys, by the way, for those of you that are wondering. So I'm hitting that little catch there, right? Now if I push in the mag release ahead of time and keep it held in, then the gun just, you know, the magazine goes into the gun completely flawless and smooth. So there you go. That's another way to do it. And on some old milsurps, this is the way you're supposed to do it. You know, Star BM 9mm, for example. When you feel that catch on that gun, you're not supposed to slam it in there. You're supposed to, every time, press the mag release and insert it in. Now, with this being a modern gun, a modern Taurus, this shouldn't be the case. So I'm going to hope that this just kind of wears in. And there's going to be plenty of follow-up videos with this gun too. So we can see if this corrects itself or gets worse if it happens. I don't think it'll get worse. I'm hoping it'll either correct itself or at the very least stay the same, right? And I know there's a million fixes probably. I could file something a little bit, but hey, this is an unboxing, so I'm just going to show you how it came. All right, now let's get to the biggest thing that I'm wondering about here. How's the trigger going to be on this gun? Even though it came with a chamber flag, I'm just making sure it's empty anyways, guys. You can never be too safe. And the gun is empty. So let's test out the slide release first. So right now, it's held open. I'm holding it open on an empty mag here by pressing up on the mag, on the, not the mag, the slide catch release, right? And I'm going to brush it down with my thumb. A little bit of friction, which is totally normal. Usually whenever you get a brand new pistol like this, it takes a second, you know, a few times of using it for the slide release to feel smooth because it has to wear off the little bit of finish that's on there, you know. So that works good. So now that the gun has been cocked, it's in single action. We notice this has a blade type trigger safety that has to be depressed first. So if we just try to push the trigger without pushing that, it's going to stop. So there's a manual blocking safety here in the trigger. I'm going to push in on this trigger safety. I'm noticing after I get back about halfway, I feel a little bit of a hitch. And then it breaks. Now, Taurus has what they call restrike capability in these guns. So after I just shot the first shot, which was single action, I've not racked the slide, you can now actuate the restrike, and it's fine either way, guys. You can call it restrike, or I think you could call this gun a single double action, right? Because when we cock the gun, we are going to pull the trigger, and it's going to perform a single action of just dropping the preloaded striker, right? Well, now that we've shot the first single action shot, we're not going to rack the slide. Click, no bang. The gun didn't shoot. So you can come back and fire a second time. Now this time we are going to have a heavier, longer, double action restrike pull. So now we're pulling the gun in double action. We are actually cocking the striker and loading the tension on the spring, and then at the last second releasing it. So the trigger pull is going to be about twice as hard. And this is standard for any single or double action gun. Now keep in mind, normally when you're firing the gun, obviously you're going to have always a single action pull, because after you load the gun with a new round, it's going to pre-cock the striker and you're going to be firing it in single action. And then the slide's going to reciprocate again. The trigger's going to reset back into single action. So let's test the restrike on this. So we're going to fire our first shot. The slide's going to reciprocate. And the reset is right there. Look at that, guys. Right there. And now we're ready to fire our next round. Let's see if we can get another close-up of this. I'm already liking the reset on this. Very short. Crisp. I can feel it a little bit in my finger, and I can hear it. All of the YouTube professionals call this a tactile and audible reset. Look, guys. We can feel it and we can see it. We're just regular people here. But you can call it audible and tactile if you want. I could care less. I just don't need to be impressed by big words. I don't know about you guys. So we're going to mess around with the trigger a little more here. Just getting a feel for it. The single action pull from reset is very crisp and very, very nice. Now the double action is rather long and pretty good actually though for a double action. A double action is never going to be as crisp and short of a trigger pull, but this one's actually not bad. I can actually feel a little bit of predictability with it. There's really no over travel. It breaks right as it hits the back of the trigger guard area of the frame, right? Reset back into single action. And then a pull. Not bad. Now I am noticing, which I noticed on my G2C too, and it has gotten better with a bunch of firing. But when you put the gun in single action like this, so you've cocked around, right? You've cycled around out of it, and we're not going to do it from the reset. When you engage the trigger safety, there's just a little bit of a hitch. You guys hear that? Not bad. Not nearly as much as my G2C. So I think the teeny bit of hitch that I'm noticing here is going to break in after, I don't know, maybe a few hundred rounds or so. So I'll update you guys on that as time goes on here. So far, I'm really liking it, guys. Not as good as the Taurus G3 trigger. And if you're wanting a comparison on why the G3 trigger is better than the G2C, look at my Taurus playlist, guys. Completely new design trigger in the G3. This G2S basically has the same type of trigger as my G2C. Okay? Again, side-by-side comparison coming soon, guys. So let's think what else there is with this gun. This gun does load from a 7-round magazine. This is a single stack, which is why this gun's grip is able to be so slim. They call this the Taurus G2 Slim for a reason. This gun is very, very slim, very, very ergonomic. I could see somebody that has smaller hands having no problem at all. My hands are about average size. They're not big by any means, but they're not teeny, you know. Very, very comfortable. Very comfortable. The fact that this holds less rounds is kind of a detriment, of course, right? But the nice thing is we get a slimmer grip, makes it easier to conceal carry on the body, and we also get a little bit shorter grip. This grip is about 1/2 inch shorter than a G2C, with having about the same overall length. And when you're concealed carrying, it's the thickness of the gun and the length of the grip that actually makes it harder to conceal, right? The length of the slide, within reason of course, isn't really that hard to conceal. You can go a little bit longer. So this gun is slim in the right dimensions where it needs to be, from top to bottom, a little bit shorter, and slim from left to right. So that's very, very nice. 7-round magazine, and they actually give you 2 of them, which I think is pretty freaking cool, because there's guns that you can buy for $500 or $600 that come with 1 mag. Now most of them come with 2, but almost all guns that are in the couple $100 range, which is about what this gun costs, come with 1 mag. Taurus gives you 2, so that's a huge, huge thumbs up to Taurus right there. And speaking of which, here's another thumbs up to Taurus, guys. The fact that, as well as with the G2C, they're making this G2S affordable, where regular everyday people can purchase this. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be a gun aficionado. Most people with any kind of income level at all can actually save up and buy one of these. Now, I see these for sale online quite a bit for 180 bucks right now. Brand new, with the 2 magazines. I've seen them for $200 online. I've seen them as expensive as like $225 in local gun shops, maybe $230. Still, a couple $100. Which, there's a couple reasons why I purchased this gun, and part of it is to do with the price. Because, you know, I thought, well, why do I want a G2S? I'm not sure if I would want one or not, because I already have a G2C. Well, first and foremost, a lot of you guys were asking me about it. Hey man, do you have a G2S? You know, do you mind doing a video on one? If you do, we just like to see your take and impressions on it, you know? And I said, you know what? I think maybe I will, because I have a lot of fun with this channel. I have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys and meeting new people, and unfortunately I'm not well-to-do, so I can't give you guys everything you want. But if there's a gun that I can afford that you guys are asking me about, I do usually try to get it to do a review. Now, I don't have any corporate sponsorship, guys. Taurus isn't going to send me a gun like this. Gun shops aren't going to send me free guns. So I do get some help though with my Patreon. And I do have some Patreon supporters. I love you guys to death. You guys help me a ton, okay? But if you guys think maybe you can help me out a little bit and throw me an extra $1 or $5 a month or whatever you've got, it would help, because I do listen to you guys, and I really do try to go out and buy stuff that you all are interested in to try to give you my opinions and maybe help you with decisions that you're making when you're looking for guns. So my Patreon link's down in the description here if you want to help out a little bit. And if you can't afford it, it's totally cool. Give the video a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you've got friends that are interested in this, just recommend the channel. That's awesome too. So, this gun here. Now, I got, I think, pretty lucky and got a great deal on this gun. So, I spent $230 for it from Palmetto State Armory. Well, that's not that great of a deal. Well, here's the catch, guys. Here's the kicker. So, they had a deal going on just a couple months ago. $230. And you got the new Taurus G2S in the box, and it also shipped with 3 AR stripped lowers. So for $230 I got 1, 2, 3 lowers. Now look, with gun control always looming and stuff, these things are kind of nice just to have a couple around as, you know, just a little bit of a stockpile or future projects, right? Because as they say, these are adult Legos, and once you get into ARs, it's kind of hard just to have one, right? And I'm more of an AK guy, but it's still easy to get hooked into ARs. So these go for about $50 a piece, and I value them as $50, right, for these Palmetto lowers. So if you take 3 of these, that's $150. And subtract it off the $230, I basically paid $80 for this G2S. So you always got to look out for the deals, guys. So yeah, for $80, it was kind of a no-brainer, especially since a lot of you guys wanted to see this gun. So yeah, overall initial impressions are pretty cool. The gun does feature a 3.2-inch barrel, more with compatibility and, you know, comparison of these later. That's a little hint for the next video, but it does have the same 3.2-inch barrel, which is nice for a micro compact. Some of the more expensive ones, you know, like the SIG and the Hellcat, actually have a little bit shorter barrel than this. And when you're talking small 9mm barrels, every little bit of an inch does help. there's a big difference between 3 inches and 4 inches, for example, in terminal ballistics. So I'm not going to complain about the barrel being 3 inches and 3.2 instead of 3. That's the easy part of the gun to conceal. Now, as far as the warranty goes, I did a lot in my very first Taurus video ever. It was called New Taurus G2C, New Warranty and Worth the Hype. Go look for it in my playlist. It was my first video I did on this gun, and it's gotten a lot of views, which just proves how awesome you guys are for watching my videos and, supporting the channel in the comments and all that, like all of you guys do, which is, I love hanging out with you guys, by the way. Anyways, and Taurus forever had a lifetime warranty. That's something they were always known for. Then, about a year ago, they said, nope, we're going to get rid of the lifetime warranty, and we're going to do a 1-year limited warranty. Well, when we look at the manual here, it's going to clearly state in your manual, okay? 1-year warranty. It's on the back page. It says, Taurus hereby provides the following 1-year limited warranty to the original retail purchaser. Okay, here's the good news. They tried this out, this new 1-year warranty. People were so used to the lifetime warranty and wanted it back so bad, Taurus got some flack for it. People said, heck no. You're not going to warranty your product for life anymore like you used to? We don't care that you guys have made these new improved guns, which, by the way, Taurus has come out with some big improvements lately. Some of the debacles Taurus has had in the past with the Millenniums and such, it seems like they've really, really got their act together. And these newer generations of guns, much, much better quality control and fit and finish and functionality and everything. So, with all that said, people said, no, we still want the lifetime warranty, just so we have the confidence that if we spend our hard-earned money for this gun, it's going to work for us for the rest of our life. Taurus listened, guys. Even though when you buy one of these, you may have a manual that was printed during that 1-year warranty period. There you go, right there, 1-year warranty. These are now covered by the new Taurus limited lifetime warranty. So, hallelujah on that. Now, there's always a little catch. The limited lifetime warranty they offer now isn't quite as extensive as the old lifetime warranty, but it's still pretty good, especially when these guns are about $180 to $200, right? So basically it says this, and you can read this and you can have your lawyer read it, whatever. I'm not a lawyer, guys. But basically the common sense reading of this says this. To the original purchaser, you have a lifetime warranty on this gun, that it's going to fit and function, right? Now, it doesn't cover cosmetics, so if the slide starts to wear a little bit, you get scratches on it, it's not going to cover that. It's not going to cover what they call accessories. Like, from what I've heard, even the magazines, some people have said. I've heard both. Some people have said Taurus replaced their magazine. Other people have said under the new warranty, this is considered an accessory. So you might want to call Taurus to get that clarified, because I've heard both. But they're not going to cover a laser if you put it on there. And it is only to the original purchaser. It's non-transferable. But back to what I said earlier, guys. $180. If you're buying it, it's going to last you a lifetime. That's really not that bad. So it does now have the lifetime warranty, which I think is awesome. Yeah, I'm going to do more videos on this gun. I'm not going to take it apart right now because the video has already gone 30 minutes, but I'll do some more shooting videos of this soon. I'll do any other afterthoughts or comments. Usually when I get a new gun like this, you guys can go back in the channel and look if you're new. For you longtime viewers, you know how I like to do this. I like to do more of a longer conversational, thorough review the first time around, and then I'll come back and do 5, 10, 12-minute videos on specifics. So if there's something more you guys are wondering about this, I might already have it on my list, but tell me in the comments, because some of my best video ideas have been suggestions from you guys. So there's definitely be follow-up videos on this. Just wanted to spend some time and give you guys my unnatural first impressions. That's why the video is a half hour, because it takes me a few minutes. I don't know about you guys, but when you buy a brand new gun out of the box, you can sit there and read all the manufacturer specs all you want. You know, and there's this spec and that spec, and I tried to give you guys some of the specs today, but really it just takes me a few minutes to sit there and talk about the gun, get comfortable with it, hang out with it. So that's kind of what this is today. My initial impressions, hanging out, telling you guys what's coming to my mind naturally as we're going through it, and by doing these longer videos, it gives you guys something to burn time up while you're driving to work, I've been told, or when you're at work and your job's boring. So I'm helping you guys blow off some work hours. You can run the clock off listening to this a little bit. Don't get in trouble from your boss. But I've been told some people do like, you know, longer videos for that. And one more thing I want to show you guys that I just saw before I put it away here. If you look at the top of the slide, this does have a physical loaded chamber indicator, which I'm a big fan of. I know some of you guys don't care for it too much. I did a whole video discussing some of this with the Taurus G2C that has it and the Taurus G3, which does not. And I like it. So for those of you that are new with this gun, I'm going to show you how it works. For those of you that already own G2Cs, you know how it works. But hey, we all like hanging out. So what's another minute or two? So I'm going to put in a snap cap, load it into the magazine, and I guess we're going to get to check the function of it loading around for the first time too. So this serves two purposes, right? So snap cap, that little hitch on the mag insertion. I'm going to bring the slide to the rear. This is how I usually rack a gun, guys. I grab onto it, thumb, couple fingers, and I pull it to the rear and I let go. Chamber the first round, so that's awesome. And the loaded chamber indicator with a little bit of orange red paint in it there did pop up, so we can feel this. We can be in complete darkness, want to know for sure that our gun's loaded, and feel. So this is what the internet experts call the tactile loaded chamber indicator, but here on this channel, let's just say we can feel it, okay? I love this feature. Some of you guys don't. Some of you guys don't care either way. Some of you literally hate this feature so much. So I just wanted to show you it's on here. For me, this is a good thing. I'm happy the G2S has it. So yeah, we just loaded our first successful round, even though it's not going to fire because it's a snap cap. There's that little hitch, guys, right there. Load it back in here real quick. Just going to load this round again just to make sure everything's good. Chambered it just fine. I'm going to pull the trigger like this so you guys can see it. Depress the safety. Little hitch. Get past the hitch. I feel a wall. Then a rather crisp break. And you'll notice when I let that striker fall on there, it was just a dull thud instead of a crisp tink noise. And that's because these snap caps, which are great training and demonstration aids, guys. Can't recommend snap caps enough. It has a special type of rubber compound in there. A real soft. I don't know if it's like a neoprene or a silicone, but you can fire on these like hundreds, if not thousands of times, and it just deadens and dampens the firing pin. So you can see where it was struck right there. Alright guys, right off the bat, my initial impressions of this gun are the trigger's not bad. I think that little hitch will work itself out. The actual pull of the trigger and reset is great. The gun's very slim. It's pretty short from top to bottom. Also pretty short from front to back, really. Very comfortable in my hands. The ergonomics of it are just great. This little pad for the thumb here, awesome. The grip texturing is just right. Just aggressive enough to give me confidence, but not too aggressive that it's hurting my hands. The gun feels very well balanced. Even though they are cheaper polymer sights, I'm able to pick them up like nothing. I don't have a problem with them. 3.2 inch barrel, not bad at all for something that's really a micro compact. We got a little bit of a hitch on inserting the mag, guys. Let's see if that works itself out. And we'll see if it does or not. More follow-up videos to come. Also, in the queue here, very soon, more things on the G3, which I have a few more things on this I wanted to show you guys. I'm having so much fun with this gun, by the way. Oh my gosh. If you guys haven't watched my G3 videos yet, go back. Oh, is that trigger awesome. I'd sit here and talk about this trigger for an hour with you guys. I like it so much. But I'll put it down. And more G2C videos coming soon. So, overall, very good first impressions of this gun. Especially for the money. Especially the fact that it just fits my hand so well. Very ergonomic. And I would know, lightweight. Like, I think this thing only weighs 20 ounces. So 1 pound, 4 ounces. Puts it right in there with like the SIG P365 and the Hellcat. And by the way, let me just say this disclaimer, guys. somebody will think I'm not completely comparing this to a SIG. Yes, the SIG's a little smaller. Yes, it's a little more compact, but the SIG's like 500, 550 bucks. This is like 180, 200. And the fact that it gets even close to the size as the SIG and has even close to the same mag capacity, hey, depends what's in your budget, depends what you want, but I'm really excited about this gun. I love how it feels in the hand. Can't wait to shoot it, and I'll bring you guys out on the range with me very soon. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.